Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to wherever in this beautiful and amazing world you awesome people are from. And welcome to Sem-May World News Daily Bulletin 5, today being the 7th of October 2025. This is your headlines for today. Eswatini receives another 10 US deportees. Death toll in the Indo school collapse increases. Australia and PNG, by the way, it's not a picture. PNG is Papua New Guinea, strike a military deal. Family wiped out in Russian strike on Ukraine. Call to permanently shut down universities in South Africa. And Pokemon strikes back at Donald Trump. Let's start with Africa now, and the US has deported 10 people to Eswatini despite rights groups in the southern African state mounting legal action to block the plan. This is the second batch of deportees that the Trump administration has sent to Eswatini as part of its hardline approach towards immigration. Eswatini human rights lawyer Mzandile Masuku said he was shocked and dismayed that the government had taken in the group despite ongoing court cases against the arrival of 5 deportees in July. The US has described those 5 from Jamaica, Cuba, Laos, Vietnam, and Yemen as depraved monsters. Moving on to Asia, the death toll from the collapse of a school in Indonesia has risen to 54, with rescuers still searching for more than a dozen missing people. Hundreds of students, most of them teenage boys, had gathered for prayers at the Al-Qazini Islamic boarding school in East Java when it collapsed on Monday while undergoing construction. Some officials said the 2-story building caved in because its foundation was unstable. And last week, this was the first of 2 incidents where many lost their lives attending prayer at a building that was still under construction. The other was a church in Congo. Heading up now to South America. Well, we skipped South America for today. Let's go to Australia. Australia will gain access to Papua New Guinea's military facilities and troops under a key deal that will see nations come to each other's aid if either is attacked. Experts say it is aimed at countering China's growing influence in the region. It will allow as many as 10,000 Papua New Guineans to serve in Australia's military and give them the option to become Australian citizens. I guess the PNG PM, James Marape, saw Australia's ad for skilled labor and applied. Interesting to see how that plays out in the future. Taking you now to Europe, and extremely sad news. 5 people have died and tens of thousands have been left without power in Ukraine after intense Russian missile and drone attacks overnight. 4 members of one family, including a 15-year-old girl, were killed by a strike in the village, and attacks mostly targeted the western region of Lviv. Russia's defense minister said it had successfully carried out a massive strike on Ukrainian military and infrastructure targets. It's a sad world where the killing of family members, especially a 15-year-old girl, is considered to be a success. And yes, I know war is still continuing, and even in the face of war, countries should take into consideration the innocent, the civilians as well, and plan accordingly. Not that I'm for war, completely against. I don't see the reason for it, and I've expressed previously in previous bulletins that Russia is a massive country, the biggest country in the world, and it's got so much of undeveloped land. And it's so massive that when the east of Russia is experiencing sunset, the west is experiencing sunrise. So they really need to look within to find ways to develop Russia instead of trying to now annex new parts of especially Europe, and that's what they are going after. Taking you to South Africa, and South Africa should close most or many of its universities and replace them with technical colleges that focus on skills development to ensure more graduates are employed, and that's according to research. Universities in this scenario should focus on offering courses in certain areas where they have expertise and skills taught remain relevant, such as medicine, accounting, economics, and hard sciences. So basically what they are saying, in these areas where not so much on hand skill is required or experience is required, research should be conducted there more than offering courses where on-hand experience is required, because once you go into the job work world with just basically theory experience, your practical experience suffers, and those who qualify with the degree and so forth don't end up getting jobs. These institutions should also focus on research in these spheres instead of offering a wider range of courses and degrees that are largely irrelevant to a modern economy. This is feedback from Efficient Group Chief Economist Dawi Ruth, who said the state wastes money on funding degrees that end up with unemployed graduates, as their skills do not match what the labor market demands. Yes, closing off with this bit of quirky news, and multiple artists and brands have publicly spoken out after their images, songs, and voices were used in government or political videos during Trump's campaign and presidency. Firstly, if they cannot respect that this is creative and intellectual property of these artists, and these artists need to be first asked permission or remunerated, after being asked permission, then look, that's the basics of thought. When they can't do that, much is left to be said of such a government. So many are on this very long list, including Pokemon. So Pokemon has said it did not give permission for the show's popular theme songs to be used in a video showing deportations posted by the US government. The video, which was captioned with Pokemon slogan, "Gotta catch them all." I'm now smiling, but I'm smiling because it's so dumb. It's so downright dumb that they do this, and such low level of immaturity. It showed Border Patrol and Immigration and Customs Enforcement, also known as ICE, agents making several arrests, certainly cold instead, and that's what it is. So this is certainly one of the strongest moves made by Trump in his aspirations of becoming a cartoon character. I personally feel he has far surpassed them. So until we meet again at this stream, wishing you a progressive, safe, and healthy life ahead. For Sem-May World News Daily, my name is Kaalan Pillay.